Welcome everyone to another episode of Unscripted Coding. Today we're going to talk all about Cohere. Now if you watch that previous video, I was gushing about Cohere's Coral chat. Think of it like chat-gpt except from another company called Cohere. Now you may never have heard of Cohere. It doesn't surprise me because even me, who was kind of in-depth on this, I never bothered to find out who was fourth or fifth best LLM, and Cohere is usually in those rankings. But what's special about Cohere and their model command+r is that they really just care about businesses. It's not about making funny memes. It's not about, being an emotional support. They just want to be really, really good at researching information out of either files you provide or the internet. Nice and simple. And so this demonstration right here is just me asking Coral a question about audio equipment manufacturing in China. So it searches it up. This isn't unique, but it does give you the references it's used, and you can click and see which reference it refers to. Now, I was really, really impressed with it because, like many of you, I have a day job, and I was trying to use chat with PDF. I was trying to use Adobe's built-in AI assistant to read PDF files, and none of them came close to how well Cohere fished out information, summarized the document, all of that. Cohere just did it so much better. Yeah, it kind of stinks if you ask it to write a poem, but for the purpose of asking questions about a document, this one fishes it out so quickly, so efficiently, so accurately compared to everything else. And so there's a web search, you can upload files, and they can be PDF or text files. Now the real problem here is that Coral is offered completely free. It's a demonstration, and so the 20 megabyte limit for PDFs gives you a really good demo, but it is quite limiting if you want to do real work. And so for a little while I was going into the docs and the playground to try and learn about using their API. It is fine, but the magic behind Coral is more than just using their API. There's more to it than that. And so I wasn't able to replicate it when I just shoved it into an HTML file and tried to interact with it. So I was super excited when Cohere put out their Cohere Toolkit. It is just a couple of weeks old. I'm proud to say I tried it the day it came out, but it didn't quite work properly for me, and so I waited a couple weeks to do this video because now it's working properly. Anyways, what this is an open source Coral, essentially. And I'm not going to bore you with it because I think, given how new it is, their setup guide is still changing. And I think they're going to continue making changes because it is janky, it is problematic. What you're going to need is Docker, and you're going to run this Docker command to pull that image. And from there, you're going to deploy it just like any other Docker. And so for me, I'm actually quite new to Docker. Took a little bit of trial and error to run this, but I finally did. I downloaded the right build, and Docker sets it all up. You just click the start button, and you click the right IP address, and this is when you get this. Doesn't that look very familiar? It looks like Coral because it's basically open source Coral. And from here, a lot of the limitations are gone and you're using your own API. And so no, that's not what I wanted to do. You can choose different platforms where Cohere is available. And so if you have, corporate compliance issues, you may want to use something like Azure or AWS instead of Cohere's own platform. But just to show you very quickly, I'm just going to do the just chat and say, hello, how's it going? And this is using their API to respond. Thanks for asking, blah, blah, blah. Here, we're going to start seeing different tools. I am going to go with command+R+, and most importantly, file reader is going to be the most important one. You'll see that internet search isn't available yet, so it's not a perfect open source implementation of what they have, but for me, what I was really curious about is PDFs. And so I'll put this out and upload a file. Let's just put this PDF in. And I had a quick trip plan, and there's an itinerary in here, and I'll just say, what did I do on, let's say, Monday? Okay, and so you'll see that it is fetching out the answer from the document. Okay, so if I click here, you're going to see this is the text that was put in that it's referring to. And so, at least for me, it looks quite accurate here. Bellagio, Conservatory, Excalibur, blah, 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 blah. And then you can continue having that conversation. Is 1.5 hours good enough for a Vegas buffet? And so this is obviously not in my document, but it will continue that conversation. That's really all there is to it. Because this is Docker, you can put this right into Azure. I keep saying Azure, but you could put this into AWS with no programming whatsoever. The only thing you need to do is stick in an API key, and all of this just runs perfectly fine. I can't tell you how excited I am about this, because whether I want to run it locally for myself or run it at work or something else, trying to find information from dozens of PDFs is a shockingly painful and yet common thing I have to do. And so I hope this was really interesting for you guys. I highly recommend paying attention to this toolkit because it's still relatively new. I think it's about a month since the first release. It's definitely not perfect. I had some real issues getting the first and second version to run, but this one is getting quite good, and I'm just hoping that it gets the internet search fairly quickly as well, and the ability to read document Word documents in addition to PDFs. But once that is done, this is going to be so much better than just running GPT-4, which hallucinates a lot, which doesn't do a great job of pulling information out of PDFs and making use of it. Cohere, command+R, really good at trying to fish out information from what is provided to them. That's all I'm going to say in the matter. Leave comments below if you have some trouble with this. The reason I'm avoiding this is because right now you need to use Docker. You need to authenticate yourself. All of those are really finicky, and I suspect that will change in the next version and the next version after that. All of this doesn't run that well right now, and it's more of a, if you know what you're doing, this is a great project to take a look at. Thanks for watching, and join us next week as we try out more tools or do a bit more digging into probably artificial intelligence. Thanks for watching. Bye. Bye.